Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are diving headfirst into the world of F1 today. And I think we're going to find it's a lot more than just fast cars
Oh, yeah.
and champagne,
You got it.
celebrations.
It really is. We've got a fascinating mix of sources for this one. Articles on some recent races, some driver profiles, some historical pieces, and even a peek into the business side of F1 with a podcast snippet. It's crazy how much depth there is to uncover.
Absolutely. And we're going to try to explore all of it, see what makes this sport such a global phenomenon.
Wow.
We're going beyond the racetrack, to understand the business, the technology, the human stories that fuel this whole thing.
It's a world of intense competition, cutting-edge technology. And I mean, these drivers, some of them are larger-than-life personalities. I think you're going to be surprised by what we discover along the way.
All right, so first up, let's talk about the fuel that drives everything. Money.
Yeah.
One of the sources highlighted the just incredible sums of money involved in F1, and it really made me realize the scale of this operation.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? And we're not just talking about driver salaries here. I mean, hosting a single race can cost a city hundreds of millions of dollars in fees alone, and that's before considering the construction and the maintenance of these state-of-the-art tracks.
Wow, and then you get the broadcasting rights, which have become so valuable as F1 has surged in popularity lately. I was reading that these rights can go for billions of dollars, and that money, it filters down into everything from team budgets to prize money.
Yeah, it creates this fascinating dynamic where you have some teams that have almost unlimited resources that they can just pour into research and development and attracting top talent, while others are constantly, they're fighting to stay afloat.
Which brings us to this whole debate around budget caps.
Right.
Some argue that limiting how much teams can spend would create a more level playing field and make the races more unpredictable.
Yeah.
What do you think? Especially as someone who I know loves a good underdog story.
Oh, there's a lot of merit to that argument, for sure.
Yeah.
But then there's the flip side. Some worry that restricting spending could stifle innovation. F1 has always been at the forefront of technological advancements, so limiting budgets might hinder that progress.
It's a tough balancing act, isn't it?
It is.
Finding that sweet spot between fair competition and encouraging the kind of technological leaps that have always defined the sport makes you think. What would you prioritize if you were in charge of the whole thing?
Yeah.
Would you favor leveling the playing field or pushing the boundaries of what's possible?
That's a great question, and it leads us perfectly into our next topic. The drivers themselves.
Yeah.
The sources are packed with stories of these legendary figures who've really shaped Formula One and their legacies. I mean, they continue to influence the sport today.
Definitely. And speaking of legends, one name that keeps popping up, of course, is Michael Schumacher. 7 world championships, an incredible work ethic, a relentless pursuit of perfection. He really set the bar for every driver who came after him.
What I find particularly fascinating about Schumacher is that his influence, it extended beyond just his driving skills. He revolutionized driver training, focusing on physical fitness and mental preparation in a way that hadn't been seen before. He was truly ahead of his time.
Yeah, and his impact on the next generation of drivers is undeniable. I mean, we see it especially with Lewis Hamilton, another 7-time world champion who has often cited Schumacher as an inspiration.
Hamilton's story is fascinating in its own right. Not only is he an incredibly talented driver, but he's also the first black driver to achieve such success in F1, breaking barriers and using his platform to advocate for diversity and inclusion.
He's become more than just an athlete.
Yeah.
He's a global icon and a role model for aspiring drivers from all backgrounds. And speaking of captivating personalities, we can't ignore the current rivalry between Hamilton and Max Verstappen. It's been electric to follow.
Oh, it's a clash of styles and generations, with both drivers pushing each other to the limit. Their on-track battles are legendary, filled with daring overtakes and strategic brilliance. The 2021 season finale was a nail-biter, with Verstappen ultimately taking the championship in a controversial finish. Moments like that really capture the unpredictable nature of the sport, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's that kind of drama and excitement that keeps fans on the edge of their seats. And speaking of shaking things up, did you hear about Hamilton's unexpected move to Ferrari for the 2025 season? It's been generating a lot of buzz online and in the sources we looked at.
Yeah, it's a bold move, that's for sure. Ferrari is the most iconic team in F1 history with a passionate fan base and a legacy of success. I mean, for Hamilton, joining them could be a chance to really cement his legacy with an 8th championship, but it also comes with immense pressure and potentially challenging team dynamics.
I can only imagine the expectations, especially with Charles Leclerc as his teammate, who is already a star driver in his own right. Do you think they'll be able to work together effectively, or could we see a clash of egos that throws Ferrari into chaos? What are your thoughts?
It's hard to say for sure, but I think it'll be fascinating to watch how their relationship unfolds. Both drivers are incredibly competitive and have a lot to prove. It could be a recipe for disaster or a partnership that propels Ferrari back to the top of the podium. We'd love to hear your predictions, so drop a comment and let us know what you think.
Yeah, we're curious to hear your take on this and everything else we're discussing today. But before we dive deeper into the world of F1, let's take a step back and explore what's driven its recent surge in popularity, especially among a younger audience. The sources suggest a few key factors, and I think they're pretty insightful.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting to see how Formula One has evolved and adapted to reach a wider audience, and a lot of it has to do with embracing new media and technology.
One thing that really stood out to me was the impact of Drive to Survive, the Netflix series, that's given fans a behind-the-scenes look at the world of F1.
Yeah, it's been a game changer, hasn't it? Even for people who weren't really familiar with Formula One, they've been drawn in by the drama and the rivalries and the personalities. It's made the sport more accessible and relatable to a much wider audience.
I think the series has done an incredible job of humanizing the drivers, showing their vulnerabilities, their struggles, which makes them more relatable to viewers. It's no longer just about who wins or loses, it's about the journey, the sacrifices, the emotions involved.
And I think that's what's resonated with younger audiences in particular. They're seeing these drivers as real people with real stories, not just distant figures in helmets and racing suits. It's created a deeper connection and investment in the sport.
Social media has also played a huge role in this shift, wouldn't you say? Teams and drivers are now able to connect directly with fans, sharing updates, insights, even behind-the-scenes glimpses into their lives.
Absolutely. It's broken down the barriers between the sport and its fans, creating a sense of community and allowing fans to actually engage with the teams and drivers they support. It's fostered a more interactive and dynamic relationship.
And then there's esports, which has exploded in popularity in recent years. F1 has its own esports series, which has attracted a whole new wave of fans and even become a training ground for some real-life drivers.
It's remarkable how the lines between the virtual and real worlds are blurring. Some esports racers are actually making the transition to professional racing, which speaks to the realism and the sophistication of these simulations.
It's not just a game anymore, it's a pathway to a career in motorsports. It's also a great way for fans to experience the thrill of driving an F1 car. Even if it's just from the comfort of their own homes, it's opened up the sport to a whole new audience.
Speaking of experiencing the thrill, let's shift gears and talk about the sensory spectacle that is a Formula One race. The sources really captured the energy and the excitement that permeate these events.
It's an experience unlike any other, isn't it? The roar of the engines, the smell of burnt rubber, the collective gasps of the crowd during a close overtake. It's an assault on the senses.
And it's not just about the race itself. The whole atmosphere is electric, from the pre-race build-up to the post-race celebrations. The paddock where the teams and drivers prepare for the race is a world unto itself, buzzing with activity and anticipation.
And then there are the locations these races take place in, some of the most glamorous and iconic cities around the world, from Monaco to Singapore to Las Vegas. It adds to the allure and the global appeal of the sport.
It's a true spectacle, blending sport, technology, entertainment into a unique and unforgettable experience. And did you see that they're even making a Hollywood movie about Formula One? Brad Pitt is starring in it, and they're filming it during actual races.
Oh, I read about that. Yeah, they're using special cameras mounted on the cars to capture the action from the driver's perspective. It's going to be so fascinating to see how they blend fiction with the real-life drama of Formula One.
It just goes to show how much Formula One has really permeated popular culture. It's no longer a niche sport. It's something that Hollywood A-listers and filmmakers are eager to be a part of.
But let's not get lost in the glitz and glam at its heart. Formula One is about human endeavor, about pushing the limits of what's possible, both physically and mentally. The sources really highlighted the intense training and dedication that these drivers go through.
It's easy to forget the immense effort and sacrifice that goes into reaching the top level of this sport. The drivers are elite athletes pushing their bodies to the extreme and making split-second decisions at speeds most of us can't even fathom.
I know, and they're training in simulators, fine-tuning their reflexes and strategic thinking, all while maintaining peak physical condition. They're constantly pushing themselves, striving for perfection in a sport where the margin for error is razor thin.
And it's not just about the drivers either. It's about the entire team working in perfect synchronicity. The mechanics, the strategists, the engineers, they all play a vital role in achieving success.
It's a testament to the power of teamwork and collaboration. Everyone has to be at the top of their game, performing flawlessly under immense pressure. One mistake can cost a race. So the level of precision and dedication is just remarkable.
And what I find particularly inspiring is the diversity of the drivers. We're seeing more representation from different countries, backgrounds, and socioeconomic levels. It's a global sport that's becoming increasingly inclusive.
Absolutely. You have drivers like Sergio Perez, who comes from humble beginnings in Mexico and has risen to the top through sheer talent and determination. And then you have drivers like Lance Stroll, whose father is a billionaire, highlighting the very different pathways into the sport.
Yeah, it's a fascinating mix of opportunity and privilege, and it reflects the complexities of the world we live in, but ultimately it's about passion, dedication, and a love for racing that unites these drivers.
And we can't forget about the fans, who are such an integral part of the Formula One experience. They bring so much energy and passion to the races, creating an atmosphere that's truly electrifying.
Oh yeah, the roar of the crowd during an overtake, the collective gasps when there's a near collision. It's a shared experience that just amplifies the excitement and the drama of the race.
And with the rise of social media and online platforms, the F1 community has expanded globally. Fans from all over the world can connect, share their passion, and engage in lively debates about their favorite drivers and teams.
Yeah, it's created a global network of F1 enthusiasts united by their love for the sport. And it's this passionate fan base that contributes to the energy and the excitement of Formula One.
Speaking of the future, let's dive into some of the technological advancements that are shaping the future of Formula One. The sources highlighted some pretty exciting developments.
One area that's particularly interesting is the development of sustainable fuels and hybrid engines.
It's incredible to think that these powerful machines could soon be powered by clean energy and setting an example for the entire automotive industry.
Yeah, it's a potential game changer for both the sport and the planet. I mean, imagine F1 leading the way in sustainable technology, showcasing that you can have high-performance vehicles that are also environmentally responsible. It's a powerful message.
It aligns perfectly with, the growing awareness of climate change and the need for sustainable solutions. F1 could become a platform for innovation in this area, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and inspiring other industries to follow suit.
And it's not just about the fuel either. Advancements in aerodynamics and data analytics are constantly improving the performance and efficiency of these cars. It's fascinating to see how these cutting-edge technologies are being implemented.
One of the sources mentioned how teams are using data analytics to optimize everything from tire strategy to fuel consumption. It's like having a supercomputer on wheels, analyzing every aspect of the race in real time.
And the advancements in aerodynamics are incredible. They're constantly refining the shape of the cars to reduce drag and increase downforce, making them faster and more agile on the track.
It's a constant evolution, a never-ending pursuit of perfection. And it's not just about winning races. It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible and driving innovation forward.
And that's what makes F1 so exciting. It's a sport that's constantly looking to the future, embracing new technologies and pushing the limits of human ingenuity. It's a microcosm of our own drive to explore, innovate, and overcome challenges.
Yeah, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of F1, I'm left with a sense of awe and inspiration. It's so much more than just fast cars and checkered flags. It's this global phenomenon that encompasses business technology, human drama, and the potential to shape the future.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring these sources with you, and I hope you've gained a deeper appreciation for the complexities and the brilliance of the sport.
I know I have. And before we sign off, we want to hear from you. What aspect of Formula One has resonated most with you? Is it the fierce competition, the cutting-edge technology, the inspiring stories of the drivers, or something else entirely?
Drop a comment and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear your perspective and continue the conversation. And remember, no matter what your passion is, whether it's F1 or something else, never stop exploring, never stop learning, and never stop pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into a fascinating topic.
Until then, keep your engines revving.